Are you ashamed of yourself?
For knocking over a bottle of bourbon?
No, for your performance at Endless Shrimp.
Yeah.
The podcast is brought to you by Eli Mason and Mountain Valley Spring Water. Let's do this, Greeze.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I've got my co-host here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
Hello, everyone.
It was Super Bowl week for you, right? Like you're the one thing you really look forward to every single year is Endless Shrimp, where you go and participate in what's the word I'm looking for? You participate in group gluttony, and
I don't know.
You always try to break your record. You're like a marathon runner. You try to break your PR.
I know what happened this year. I don't know what will happen next year.
Like you may not do it next year is what you're saying? Or like, what do you think?
I don't know, dude. I don't, because here's the deal, okay? Let me go ahead and tell you something, a little something. I was up until, and I know I'm skipping way past, the whole experience. I'm just going to go straight to when I thought that, the end was near. I'm in bed and my whole body just felt antsy. Like I couldn't well, now my right leg's twitching. You know what I mean? Like,
so you had like congestive heart failure? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I thought it was like restless legs, but it didn't stop at the legs. It literally, so I was on my left side and my heart felt like it just wasn't comfortable.
Yeah, I think you have mercury poisoning.
Well, we
describing illnesses and ailments.
We've talked about mercury poisoning a few times.
Yeah, we talk about it.
And so I literally had to physically shift to my right side, and I ended up staying the whole night that way.
You're like a pregnant lady
because
like you can't be on your left side.
Because my heart felt better when I was on my right side, and I don't know if it just gave it like just more room. You know what I mean? If there was just more room in my digestive system or what? Not my digestive, my chest cavity.
Your gut, maybe? Like, I don't know.
No, but for my heart. Do you think my gut was coming up into my heart area?
Yeah. I've seen that on
like upper
surgeries.
stomach.
You ever seen like the surgery on TLC?
Well, I know that there's an upper stomach and a lower stomach.
You're thinking of cows. You're actually thinking of cows.
Well, I love beef jerky, so...
Okay. All right, so we're going to go to... You went to Endless Shrimp, which is your annual thing.
Yeah, well, I went there. Rob Johnson was there. Tim Skipper was there. My regular crew. John Lining. Dude, John and David and Ryan, well, I've been doing this with them for 5 years.
Yeah.
They're staples.
Yeah, and one of them is the guy that has the app, right, that keeps track of your...
Yes, and he only uses it once a year, and he pulled up the app, and it had my shrimp count from last year, which was 122.
So at least you knew what you had to beat.
I knew what I needed to do, Will. Yeah. And I will say this. I hit the normal wall around 80, but here's the deal. They were slow.
I was going to say, wait, can I preface this?
The shrimp were huge.
Can I preface this?
Yeah.
We talked on the phone, and I was a little disappointed in your effort, but you kept trying to blame the restaurant.
Yeah, I did.
But what I had to get out of you was that it wasn't the restaurant's fault. You hit a wall and you couldn't eat anymore. That's your fault.
There's a lot of things that are my fault, Will, and I'm fine with accepting those responsibilities. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you something. It all went south when Hardee's offered me 2 dadgum apple pies for $1.
Wait, what? You strayed from your normal pregame meal activity basis thing? Like
Okay.
every year,
No.
every year you have here's what I do to get ready for endless shrimp. I get the such and such at Hardee's, and then I eat like nothing at lunch but water, and then I go do it. But there's another menu item from Hardee's that was introduced this year.
Well, it wasn't not new.
Well, I don't mean new as in like
had-
you've never had it before. I ment like to the program, the routine.
Well, I was doing an Instagram stories as I was ordering like I normally do annually. And so I ordered 2 monster biscuits, and then she asked me, and she said like honey or baby too. Like she was like, "Honey, do you want 2 apple pies with that for $1?"
That's offensive. You should have said no.
Well, I thought at that moment, I was like, 2 apple pies for $1. I just started laughing. And then I said, yes. And I said, I can't say no. And the reason I can't say no is because I felt like in that moment that it would be more expensive if I said no.
Well, I guess that just all depends on what the price of your dignity after failing at endless shrimp is, Grease. So how expensive was it?
Well, because I was just like, I mean, 2 apple pies should cost, I think it costs them more than $1 with the cardboard, and they got the dough, and they got to bake the dough. They got to have the oven on and all that stuff, and then you got the apples, and then and then the caramel whatever sauce or whatever's in there, the whatever it is, I don't know what it is, applesauce with apples baked in there. And then you got to pay somebody to come in there and preheat the oven and cook them and all that stuff. And then you got to pay the woman that's taking my monies. Because the whole thing with ordering and paying, it takes like 5 minutes. So, okay, so you're paying her what, $15 an hour? 5 minutes? Okay, that's like 10% of that's 10% of your check. That's $1.50.
That's more than the 2 apple pies is what you're getting at.
Right. So I just said yes. I said yes, and I took them. And then for lunch, I only had like half of a bottle of water when I'm supposed to have like 4 bottles of water to keep the stomach stretched.
So all I want to know is like, are you going to, after telling this story and I hear all of your irregularities, you're still going to blame the restaurant and not yourself?
Well, they were slow. Okay, I will say this. I did not set myself up for success. And 2, I will say this to speak into the restaurant's value system. The shrimp were pretty monsters. Not pretty as in looks. They were big. They were just big. They were big old hunk of shrimp.
They were like GMO shrimp. Like,
yeah, I don't know what that is. You keep saying that in text messages we're in, and I don't know what GMO stands. General Motors Operations?
Genetically modified organism.
I don't think shrimp are organisms. They're organized. Shrimp, let me go ahead and tell you something, buddy. If you saunter into the ocean, let me go ahead and tell you what you're going to see. Organization. Okay? Because if you're one of those deep sea divers, which heaven forbid you do that, because that is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life. But if you wanted to, dive down into the deep, then you go down there and all you're going to see is just a big old cluster of organization down there. You're going to be like, oh, what is that? And you know what? It's so organized that they call them schools because they're educated. They have talked to each other. They've communicated with each other. They are teaching each other. And they are migrating amongst this 4D space down there. Because you can go up, you can go down, you can go in, you can go out, and it's all water. That's like the 4th dimension's water. And so when all that happens, you get to a point where you got to say that they're probably smarter than we are.
Okay, so you had not enough water, and then take me up to like arriving at the Red Lobster.
Well, I roved, and I went past the lobster tank and looked at those, and I said, I'll never be able to afford those. That's like Pappy. You know what I mean? If Pappy is to Buffalo Trace, it'd be those lobsters to Red Lobster. You know what I mean? It's just it's something that you just have to kind of roll with somebody that's got money that wants to bless you with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, Chris Thomas at the first barn night, he's like our Red Lobster. He's like our Buffalo Trace. He's blessed us with that. And so we got to try it that one time. He also got us dadgum freaking birthday bourbons for our kids.
He's a generous man.
No, I was expecting the Venmo, and he was like, "Oh, it's a kid's gift."
That's
Okay.
that's exactly how he sounds too. It's uncanny.
It sounds like I still got a shrimp lodged in my throat. Old school. All right. All right.
All right, continue. Where were we?
So we saunter on back of the back table, and we got this really nice woman. She starts serving us up, and then I order my maker's neat. I said,
This is where, if things hadn't gone awry already, this is where things really started to go awry.
and Brian Reynolds is right by me.
Yeah.
And he heard me say, I want a Maker's Mark neat, straight, is what I said after I said neat, because I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that she doesn't know what the word neat means.
Right. Like I would have, if you hadn't have clarified to me that you said straight after it, like I feel like, be like, yeah, maybe she just didn't know what neat was, but you did give her that opportunity by like, wait, let me clarify.
I did. And I will say that I think she, like when I said straight, I think she meant like, okay, we're not going to add water to it and we're not going to put any Coke to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair assessment of the situation you were in.
So I ordered that, and lo and behold, 5 minutes later, I get the biggest glass with a little trickle of bourbon in it, and like, I mean, towering over the glass wheel with ice. Like the ice is above the rim on the cup.
Yeah.
And I just look at that thing, and Brian's over there, and he's just like, yeah, when she put that down, I was just going to sit there and say that don't look like it's neat. And I was like, yeah, it don't. It's because it's not. So then I took a picture.
It was like Fellowship Hall ice. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
one of those big
church? Yeah.
It was church ice. It
Yeah.
wasn't fridge ice. Like it wasn't cloudy, but it was like those little almost
Like a Methodist church,
like slivers of ice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Pillows, little pillows, but not like
Fellowship Hall ice maker.
That's what I said. I said it's Fellowship Hall ice.
Yeah, that's what I was, yeah. So that's a great thing that you said, because I agree with that. So anyway, so I downed it, and then I ordered another one, and then I told her, I said, I don't want any ice. Just clarify that. I'm not going to use the two other buzzwords I know how to say this. Can I get another one with just out ice, just straight whiskey? And she was like, oh, okay, cool. So she brought it back, and it was right. And then at that point, I was just like, all right.
But that's more Maker's Mark than you normally consume, because you normally only get one double.
No, I usually get two doubles.
Oh,
yeah.
But I feel
doubles.
like the water may have thrown your game off a little bit, right?
As much ice as that was in there, so it looked like the same amount of height in the bourbon with all the ice in there. It was the same height as when it
Greeze,
was neat the second time.
There was so much ice in there. It's almost as if like that's how much we've lost of the polar ice cap this year.
Did you pull up the? Anyway, so I mean, there's a learning curve, or is it a curb? Why are you looking at me? I need I need some sort of learning curve. Oh no, that
There's nothing awesome about what you just said. Continue, Grease.
Oh man. I've learned a few lessons in my life on sitting on a curb, because I never got picked. I was just still sitting there.
So how many shrimp did you eat?
101.
What?
Yeah, that's bad. I was supposed to minimum do 119, but let me go ahead and tell you something, dude. When I hit 96, it was a struggle bus to even get to 101. Like I was doing like one shrimp and then chugging an entire glass of water just to get through it. I was. It was hard. It was very difficult, and I did not think I would make it out on the other side.
You literally let every single one of our listeners down, including Brian Reynolds, who was there with you.
Brian he's a good man, and I think there's some grace in there. Now, I will say this. There was a thread that I saw on Facebook a couple of days later once I came out of the dark, I think you were meaning for people to encourage me.
Yeah, I thought you were going to see that while you were there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But you didn't. You didn't see it until you didn't see it until you got home, I guess.
And it was just, it's a bunch of hate mail.
No.
A bunch of hating.
No, most people saying you can do it.
Yeah, but in a derogatory manner.
No, that was me. I was the one saying, nope, he can't do it. I know how he's doing.
Yeah.
It was bad.
I flagged it for Facebook.
You did?
Yeah, I flagged it all.
Hey, is Casey really can he really not comment on things across Facebook in general?
His entire Facebook, he cannot post.
Well, he's kind of a troll, so.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what I did. And I'm, in my mind, I'm like, there's about 3 or 4 things that I think I know what you did.
Yeah.
But he's going to come out of this. He's going to come out of a better person.
No.
He's just going to have to self-evaluate.
Sure.
Have you ever done that? Self-evaluate?
I don't like to label myself. Like an Enneagram? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm just saying, it's one of those things. It's like, well, when's the last time, when there was an altar call at church, when did I go up there last time?
Yeah.
You got to check yourself.
You got to do it multiple times?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a one and done.
Oh, no, man. No.
I think you come from a different background than me.
Well, no, I mean, you don't have to go up there, just to, to make big declarations, but sometimes, hey, man, I need to pray for my aunt today.
Okay.
She's struggling.
Yeah.
So I go up there and do that, take one for the team.
Chase came over the other night.
I know he did. I was here too.
You had to leave.
I did have to leave.
But we opened to Dusty, which we haven't done in a while because I was kind of like, eh.
We kind of got off Dusty's for a little
I still
bit.
kind of am, but then I had this Stitzel-Weller cabin still.
Yeah.
It was 90 proof, 6-year-old Stitzel-Weller cabin still in a Ducks Unlimited decanter from 1972. And I'm going to be honest with you, one of the reasons I hadn't opened it is because I thought it was going to be awful.
Where'd you get it?
Chris Thomas. When one of his fire sales, the cork had broken off the top, and it was like, there was like it had a gold duck sitting on top as the stopper, but the cork broke, but it was sealed perfectly. And he's like, I'll let it go for cheap because I'm not gonna be. And I'm pretty sure I highway robberied him.
Oh, well, you went to go pop that cork, and it was an obvious seal.
Yeah, when I used a little pocket knife to go around the edge, and as soon as I plunged it in, it went.
Yeah.
Like there was pressure going in or out or something. And I went around it, and I didn't do like a coffee filter because the cork was intact. Like it was still spongy.
Yeah.
It just had fused to the side. So I just went through like a kitchen strainer, like a mesh, like a metal mesh strainer, like you'd use for a cocktail. Like if you're straining juice.
So instead of taking the lead out, you were putting more lead in?
That doesn't do anything for lead, those filters.
I thought those filters were made of lead.
No. You're thinking of activated charcoal.
But it looks like metal.
No, that was just
There's lead in
steel.
metal.
That was just steel. There's no lead in that.
Oh.
Lead is a metal.
Well, then why is steel so heavy? Because, when people are like, man, that's heavy as lead.
Well, lead is heavy also.
I know, but lead is in steel.
No, it's not. Oh, by the way, I went and checked my facts after last week's show where we talked about the density of water in milk, and milk is indeed heavier. The same volume of milk is going to weigh a little bit more than water. Just wanted to get that out there. I checked my facts, my science there.
Yeah,
but moving on. I'm not letting you take this back yet.
I just don't know if that's real.
So I took had a measuring cup, and I poured it through the strainer, and just to get a few of the chunks, only minuscule chunks of cork out, and it was so clear, it was almost. I don't know that it lost really any to evaporation. Like there was a lot of liquid there.
A lot. But do you mean to tell me that a gallon of milk weighs more than a gallon of water?
Yes.
In a jug?
Yes.
Probably the only reason I would say yes to that is because
it's not like you don't get to say yes or no. It's a fact.
No, because the milk jugs they don't let them see through. And the water ones, they are. So therefore, there's additional paint, which obviously has lead in it.
No, it's not. It's not the carton. It's the liquid that I'm talking about.
Yeah, but how are you going to measure that without having it in a container?
If all other things being equal, a gallon of milk
sounds so fake.
What are you talking about? It's density.
If all things being equal,
No, like obviously if you have a heavier container, then that's going to weigh in.
7 years ago.
Get that shrimp out of your throat, Greeze.
I can't. It's like a whiskey weekend situation. Remember when I lost my voice?
Oh, yeah, real early. Okay, so all I was saying is that it was Stitzelweller. It is one of the best Dusties I've ever had. Mm-hmm. I'm putting it in a terrain decanter to have some. I'm going to save some for Joshua. I'll let other folks try it maybe too. I offered some to Chris the other day. He said, nah, not today.
Yeah. Well, he's on that diet.
Yeah.
So he can only, he has cheat days.
Well, no, he was going to an event the next day, so he wanted to keep it.
Be sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Be sharp as a tack.
No, he wanted to have drinks the next day. He's just trying to take it easy.
Oh.
Okay. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great.
I'm going to go to the 15?
I mean, the shrimp have gone. They have come and gone. So I'm feeling way better.
Yeah, you sent a picture to us of you in the bathroom stall.
I did. I remember just staring up at the fan when all this was going down. It's 1:30. I can't get my body to calm down so that I can get some rest. And I'm just like, is this how I'm going down? You know?
Are you an alligator?
Are you an alligator? So yeah, I got up and I chugged some water. That seemed to help. It seemed to calm the nerves a little bit, maybe get some energy out or something. And I was sitting there thinking too, I was like, man, I just ate enough food. You know, that if spanned out appropriately, I could have probably used that energy to climb Mount Everest. But I decided to do that on a casual Wednesday. And so my body's trying to burn off that energy just laying there in bed, and I thought it was over. Well, so I don't know if I'm doing it 2020. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to have to reassess.
I think you should probably not. I think we should just go ahead and cancel Endless Shrimp in perpetuity.
And if Rob Johnson's getting married before next year.
He's getting married?
No, I said if he ends up getting married before next year, I can see him not diving in to all of that anymore. I think he would be like, you know what? Like,
I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm going to take control of my life a little bit. You know, No more Endless Shrimp.
Right. I think he's going to make more responsible decisions. And I think we all should figure something like that out. You know, like I don't want to play Candy Crush as much anymore. And so I'm going to try not to. It's a goal.
Well, you're not very good at it, so.
I learned this new hashtag goals. You just have to put that, like you just say something, you know, maybe something that you know, you won't ever be, but you may want to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to, you know, go to lunch at Stony River instead of just dinner sometimes. Hashtag goals.
You've never been for brunch on Sunday at Stony River?
They have brunch?
Yeah, Samantha and I go all the time.
All the time?
Oh, yeah.
Do they have like steak and eggs?
Oh, yeah. I bet they're good. Steak and eggs. They have what's the sandwich? A French dip.
Oh, a chia dip.
No, a French dip with ribeye, sliced ribeye, and the caramelized onions you dip in the au jus. All right, Greeze.
So anyway, it was a party.
You want to go to the 15?
I do.
All right, let's hit it.
Right now? Like you're about to hit it?
You have something else to say?
No, that was aggressive.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, while we're sitting here sipping our 15 whiskey, we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsors. Now, Greeze did an excellent job last week.
Yeah, even Chris told me so.
Do you want to try to do it again? Do you think you can repeat?
Okay, well, my two mistakes last week were I said just pomegranate. I didn't say blackberry pomegranate. And then mountainvalleyspring.com was the website that I said, I think I said.
So you think, can you do better?
All right. You want to replay the thing so I can come in again?
Yeah. Let's let you interrupt the music.
Okay. Hey, y'all, it's me again. Everything's going well over here. You know why? Because I've got Eli Mason simple syrup. Dadgummit. I got Eli Mason old-fashioned syrup mixer and Mountain Valley spring water. You know why I've got both of them, Will?
Tell me,
Because
Greeze.
both serve a freaking great purpose. One, Eli Mason old-fashioned mixer. Take the guesswork out of it, Will. You got some bourbon, you got some whiskey, you got some rye. You want to just take a Rittenhouse rye, 100 proof, go 3-1 on that bad boy with some Eli Mason, whatever. I don't suggest 3-1 with a 100 proofer, more like a 90 proofer. However, it's a fabulous trip. It's great. And you can even add a garnish in there if you want to fancy it up a little bit.
Like parsley.
Like parsley, like a lemon wedge, because that's real great. And they've got that new Coca-Cola vanilla orange flavoring Coke, which I don't understand that one. But anyway, not Eli Mason. Eli Mason sticks to what they know the best, okay? Old-fashioned. It's awesome. You can go to elimason.com. You can order them online, and guess what? Do you want to talk about St. Jude?
Yeah, I will. So here's what's going on. This is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and Eli Mason has teamed up with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital out of Memphis, Tennessee this month. Basically, what it comes down to is that every bottle of Eli Mason old-fashioned mixer sold in the month of September, that's September 2019 for those of you listening at a different time, but $1 from every bottle sold is going to go to St. Jude. And there's a little bit of a hook to try to get more people to, like stock up on old fashioned this month specifically. And that's because Chris is going to take the Old Fashioned Friday Roadshow is what I like to call it. But he's going to take a Old Fashioned Friday experience to you and some of your friends. And that is going to go to the winner who buys the most bottles of Eli Mason Old Fashioned Mix this month. So stock up, get some for Christmas is just around the corner. Get some for gifts for your boss, for your coworkers, for your brother-in-law, and just know that it's serving a good cause, and you may be able to win that experience where you get to have Chris and some friends. Wink, wink. It may be friends if it all works out, but I'm not promising nothing. But it's going to be Chris and some friends are going to bring that experience. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to love it, and it's also for a great cause. So go to elimason.com and order it there to get your tally, your bottle tally. Like, I don't think if you purchase it in a bottle shop, it's going to be registered, right? Because they're not going to know, right?
Right, yeah. And two, is our discount still active right now?
Yeah. So if you get a 3-pack, use the code PodCask and get a little, I think it's 20% off right there. So.
Right. Yeah. So that means that you can buy one more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get a little extra.
Right. You can buy if you bought 5 of them, you're only going to pay for 4 3-packs.
But you're still impact, it's like a matching challenge.
I feel like 20 bottles would be pretty good.
Yeah, who's to say?
Or not 20, that'd be 15. I can't do math.
All right, well, anyhow.
Anyway, sauntering on over to Mountain Valley Spring Water. You can go to mountainvalleyspring.com, and you can enter in your zip code, and they'll tell you where you can find that beautiful water. They got still water, and they got sparkling water, and they got all kinds of flavors. And when I say all kinds of flavors, they got 3. Peach, pomegranate blackberry, or blackberry pomegranate, and lime. And they got, and they're all in a green bottle, and it looks really nice, and it's pH balanced out of a stream in Washita.
The spring. It's a spring, not a stream.
Yep.
Out of stream.
They take it out of a brook or a creek or a, I don't know what the river. But yes, and they bottle it and it goes straight to you, and it's awesome. It's great. We use it here in the studio when we're trying to open up our whiskey because it is just a high quality water. It's not tap water, which is, that's a thing. So yeah, you want to put some really good water in there, and Mountain Valley's got it. And they've been a sponsor for us for almost a year, and we are super appreciative of them. They're helping bring this content to you every week as we do our show.
MountainValleySpring.com. Get you some.
Yeah.
All right, so we're we're drinking something. I opened this the other night with Chase, and so I thought we'd do it on the 15th. Now, this is the spring of 2018, so a little bit over a year old release of Old Fitzgerald Bottled in Bond in the Decanter series. Now, this is the...
is this what I picked up for you?
Yes, at Whiskey Weekend.
Whiskey Weekend.
So this is the... it's kind of like the maroon or crimson background label. It's 100 proof. It's bottled in bond. It's 14 years old. And so it was distilled fall of 2003 and it was bottled spring of 2018. It's got this faux tack strip, which looks like the old school one. It's got a picture of a guy, and I'm trying to do some research real quick because it looks like it may be the same guy that's on the E.H. Taylor faux tack strip, which is the guy was I think he was like a Treasury Department secretary or something. Like there's a reason that it's on there, but doesn't have his name.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that Heaven Hill submitted that beautiful bottle and then somebody in the government decided to put his face on the tax strip?
No, Greeze, it's a throwback. They're doing a throwback to like a old tax strips. Oh. So at some point, yeah, the tax strips were like pre-approved because it was showing, it was like a...
So is All Money technically a throwback?
Yes.
Cool. That's awesome. So if I'm at Publix and I'm like, I'm picking up some sliders or something to make for the weekend, I can just, they're like, hey, that'll be $7. And I mean, you mean 7 throwbacks?
No, you cannot. Nope.
What do you mean no?
I do not want you to try to do that.
I feel like that is okay to do. I don't think anybody would have any issues with that. I mean, they might be confused at first.
You just sound like an idiot.
I know, but that opens up for me to educate somebody that these are throwback bills.
No, I don't think that. Unless you have you can't use a new 10. Let's be honest. When was the last time?
Why not?
It's not a throwback. They just updated it.
You haven't seen the new $10 bills? No,
I have. I'm saying you can't use that.
Oh,
because it wouldn't be a throwback.
What do you mean you can't use them? You mean I'm stuck with all these freaking Will Haynes $10 bills?
I quit.
I hate that. That sucks.
Okay, so it's a weeder because it's Old Fitzgerald.
Yep.
14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your thoughts on it, Grease? What are you getting on the nose?
It smells great.
Yeah?
It smells so good. How long has this been open? Well, I guess I would say since Chase was over here.
So Tuesday of this week. Only a few days.
I don't know what it smells like. Will, it smells like good whiskey. You know what I mean?
What did we pay for this?
What did you pay?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I want to say maybe $150.
It was expensive.
Yeah. $150 probably, I think.
Okay.
How do you feel? I mean, so is that...
I think the nose is good. I think it doesn't drink like it's 100 proof. It drinks lower. I'm not getting a great finish on it. It's not like astringent or anything. It's just kind of not a ton going on. And so here's the problem.
Definitely agree with everything you just said after just trying it.
Yeah, here's the problem. The nose is great, but when Chase was over here, we had some of the Weller 12 that we drank last week on the show, and that was a 12-year-old, 90 proof, so lower proof. And then we had some Henry McKenna, and that's 100 proof, only 10 years old. Both of those tasted a lot more developed than this. A lot more developed. And both of those are a lot cheaper. Now, Weller 12, sure, yeah, if you're paying what's, some stores got it jacked up, you could pay as much as this retail, but, and now you got this at the Heaven Hill gift shop for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just telling you.
Which they strategically offer it for more than MSRP there because they don't want to undersell the stores.
Right.
Because they still want the stores to be able to offer it for less and make more money. They don't want to undercut them because obviously they've got plenty of stock and can put them out there. And so they charge a little bit more for them.
Well, I'm very conflicted about this. I think it's good. I love the bottle, but it's not $100 bottle, and it kind of drinks like $50 whiskey to me.
I don't disagree, Will.
Yeah, like if this were a $50 thing, if this were 75, all day long, I think I'm buying it. But I mean, I don't think I'm a buy at this price.
I'd love to try a 14-year-old whiskey like this at barrel proof. I mean, a 14-year-old weeder at barrel proof from Heaven Hill, that would be awesome. What was that Parker's Heritage weeded? How many years was it?
I think it was it the bottled in bond? No. They had a wheat whiskey that was 11 years old.
Oh,
it wasn't a wheat. It wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't a bourbon.
Bourbon, right? Oh, facts. I'd be very interested side by side. I just feel like there was a lot of water added to this bad boy. I feel like it may or may not have been, pretty high proof before they threw some water in there. I don't know, but it does feel like the character has been stripped.
Yeah, there's just something missing from it to me.
It's thin, finish is not there. Now it tastes good. It does taste good. It just doesn't linger. It doesn't hold.
There is nothing offensive about the flavor of this bourbon. Mm-mm. But what is offensive is the price tag for what it is. And you know what? I will go on a little bit of a rant here, because why not?
Oh.
I see all these posts these days, and it's all jealousy. I guarantee you it's jealousy. And I mean, some people may not like this, but like the Weller Foolproof. People are, oh man, hey, Buffalo Trace adds 7 proof, and here come the taters, and all this stuff. People going absurd on it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You may not like it, but it's 114 proof.
I don't think
really well crafted whiskey, and I think it's delicious. If you put that bottle against this bottle, every day of the week, I take Weller Foolproof, and it's $49 retail. So I don't care what people flip their bottles for and what people decide to buy it from. That's their prerogative. That's literally up to them. But I'm so tired of the culture where it's just like, oh, taters. Oh man, you'll buy anything. It's a gimmick. It's like, it's a really good whiskey. It's a better whiskey than this. And sure, is it 7 to 8 years old, so younger, but it is a much better whiskey than this. Hands down.
I agree. Everybody that tries the Weller Foolproof is just like, man, that's really good.
I also want to say to people that sit there and say, oh, 7%, 7 proof. Oh, big deal. Add 7 proof. Tell me there's not a difference between a bottled in bond and a 92 proof bourbon.
Oh,
people lose their minds.
100%.
Oh, I'm not drinking a 90 proof bourbon, but I'll drink. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, I'm doing that voice. That's normally a voice I use to mock you.
Right.
But for real, like, I don't understand why people decide this is I don't know. It's just not my thing.
Right.
But people are being so catty about this, but it's like, come on now. But yet, like, okay, so maybe Heaven Hill did get a little flack, but it's not like Old Fitzgerald was super widely distributed before. It was just in Kentucky. Right. Like, they held on to the brand.
And these are special releases, dude. And
they're special releases.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful, but they're so expensive.
Well, yeah.
But no, people don't sit here and just hate on it.
Right.
They may have been like, oh, money grab, but like, the hate I see is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like? You know what? I hate it.
Why do people hate Special Reserve too? Speaking of hate,
people are dumb.
Everybody's just like, "Oh man, I hate Special Reserve."
I kind of feel like we're lighting a match right now.
I know,
like, but watch it burn. I don't know. I mean, no, Special Reserve is a great. I drink so much Special Reserve.
Right. I don't understand.
I also don't think like Special Reserve. It's not like people charge a ton of money for Special Reserve.
Right.
It's a really good value. Whatever.
Well, I've been, I've said it 3 years ago. I'm like, Special Reserve's my go-to when I'm up late editing, so I don't get too sassy.
But I mean, right. You get so sassy regardless.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen it.
For like 4 or 5 hours.
Hey, do you want to borrow pass this bottle?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm gonna borrow it. I think it's still cool to try. because like you said, like, I mean, it's still,
it is cool to try. It's good whiskey.
I'm getting oak on it. I am getting oak. It's coming across a little bit more like nutty though. So kind of like which is weird because I would pull that more out of something younger.
I'm not getting the like the tannic oak from it.
I agree. But I do think it's interesting. I think it's a fun pour to try. I think if they've got it at a bar and you can have them put it on the bar for you and you can take a picture of it.
And it'll probably pretty pricey pour though.
Yeah, I mean you're probably going to pay, $25 for an ounce and a half.
Find a friend who hasn't, let him open it for you.
Yeah.
And drink it and have a great time. Like that's the thing.
Everybody needs a will.
It tastes good. It tastes good, but it's just for some reason it just doesn't match the price point, man.
The nose is great.
The nose is great. The finish is non-existent.
Yeah.
And it's 14 years old, 100 proof.
Yeah, how does that happen?
So was this like 150 proof whiskey? Like was it so high and they just watered it down like crazy? Like it's just a ton of water content.
That's what I said.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be that.
If I were gambling.
And Lord knows you love to gamble.
I do like to throw a couple of pennies at the wall and see if it hits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. But I'm going to say a bar. I think it's interesting. I think it's fun. I think the bottle was beautiful.
Once again, if you can try it, but I mean, I would, unless you try it and it is the best thing you've ever tasted, and that could be the case. Like that happens. That's palates. Like people prefer things that other people don't necessarily prefer. Like that happens. But unless it really resonates with you, I do not say buy it at retail. It is expensive.
Yeah, I would not buy it. It's not a buy.
Yeah,
it's a bar.
Yeah, you want to buy a Sip Tax bottle? I'll sell it to you for $200.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Deal. Hey, people heard that.
Is that in writing?
Yeah, no, it's in audio.
I didn't write it down.
It's on audio.
I didn't write it down.
All right, folks.
It's that deep fake thing.
Yep. I winked at Greeze, said, "Yeah, say it. It'll be funny." And then
it wasn't funny.
It was hilarious. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week, I think, on the podcast. You got anything else to say, Greeze?
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all's prayers and everything for the
endless shrimp.
Yeah.
Check out thepodcast.com for some fun stuff there. Go to our Facebook group, Podcasters, and check it out. The easiest way to get there is podcasters.com, PodCaskers. Join that. It'll ask you how you heard about us. We're getting people every day that join it. Been like, hey, we had a guy join today that said, you know what? I just made a Facebook account just so I could join the group. Like I've been listening since the first episode. And finally, I'm like, I got to get in.
Well, welcome, whoever you are.
And we're really glad to have you. And you know what? If you're not into Facebook, we're not going to judge you, but we appreciate you listening to the show each week. Send us $5 in the mail, patreon.com/thepodcast. If you've got a brand that you want represented on here, you can reach out. You can send us an email, thepodcast@gmail.com. We've got some other stuff in the works, but people listen sometimes like, oh, I didn't know if we could do that or not. So check that out. And that's going to do it. Thank you to our sponsors, Eli Mason and Mountain Valley Spring Water. And we don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it.